Hello everybody and welcome back to our cozy single player survival series. Today is hopefully going to be a super productive episode. I'm hoping to get some form of food sorted out. I know last time we found a village and we did get a bunch of wheat, but I think it is time that we become a little bit more self-sufficient. I'm thinking maybe we'll build a barn or a windmill today. And I also want to go mining because as much as I think that this copper armor looks super cool, I definitely want to upgrade to iron at least and get some iron tools as well, just for better protection and also so that I can gather materials for my builds a lot easier. It's very jarring going from SMPs where I have like netherite tools and armor to this where I have like copper or stone. And it suddenly feels really slow, even though like back in the day this used to just be like my progression. This would be how fast I would do things, and I genuinely would like rarely ever leave iron. So it's very interesting to go back to. It is important that we continue to progress. Obviously last time we did... Where is this zombie? Is it another one? Where are you, bro? Because he's doing me head in. But yes, so obviously last episode we built our little mine shaft area and I want to utilize this today. I haven't managed to do any more mining in here. Do we think there's mobs down there? I definitely need to get a few more torches before we go down, and then we can make a few copper pickaxes. We've got a little bit extra in case we need it, and we can just head down and I guess pick a direction. I'm not sure which one I want at the moment, but we will pick a direction and head down into the mines. I think I'm gonna go this way because there's andesite and granite. That's my entire reasoning. I like that there's different blocks that I can gather to build. Now this is not the most riveting process to watch, so I'm not going to put you guys through that, but it is actually really good for me to get building blocks, so I quite enjoy it, and it's a very good mindless sort of task for days like today when I actually feel quite tired. I can kind of almost feel a chronic fatigue syndrome crash coming on, but I'm trying to like just get through the week and get some videos done. So if I do seem a little bit low energy today, now you know why. I have just realized as well, like when I'm digging all of this, I'm gonna eventually have to come in and put loads of stairs in here as well. I don't think I realized when I started this mine shaft, I didn't realize how much effort it truly was, but that's okay. I'm quite enjoying the process, and I think that's something I'm trying to learn more just generally with my hobbies, like enjoy the process. And even if something is slow, that doesn't mean it has to be boring. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, we found some iron. This is something we're severely lacking at the moment, so I'm very, very glad to find a little bit. We're gonna have to block this area back up so we can continue our staircase because it's very important. But let's just do this for now. But yeah, we managed to get 8 pieces of iron, so that's very good. I'm gonna keep going with this digging project. We really haven't even gone that far as well, so it's definitely not the most efficient way to do this, and I understand that. But it's gonna be so cool when it's done and we can just like have a really cool mine shaft, and I'll be really happy. Okay, I've only been going for like 30 minutes. I've dug so much, guys. It doesn't look like it. Let me go up, let me show you. This is a lot. And then we turn around this corner, and then I also have the other side, which is where I started, and I dug down pretty far there, but I'm not going to put you guys through a tunnel tour. That's probably not very fun for anyone other than myself. But we have dug into a mine shaft, so this is super exciting. I definitely want to explore this. We can get some very good loot. especially for like this early in the game. So I'm very happy. I'm gonna put like some fences here. Oh, actually, there's fences here, isn't there? So I'll put these fences like this and a little gate. No mobs are going to get in, so that's good. And it should be nice and easy for us to find this little spot again. But yeah, and I'm just going to check out this mine shaft. Oh, this is our first name tag of the series actually, so that's super exciting. And I'm also going to take any like rails, because obviously for the mine shaft like that we're building, the idea is that we're going to be able to easily access the mines with these. I might also just make a little sword really quickly. As you can see, we do have a little bit of iron, so I think I'm going to use that and get our first sword, first iron sword, maybe our first sword full stop. And I'll just check this. Oh, that's so exciting. Glowberries are so exciting. Okay, that's brilliant. I love glowberries. So I'm gonna run back. It feels a bit dangerous over there. But we can also make a shield now, which is super exciting. Very good. I don't know what all these different rails mean, but it is okay. I think I might quickly head back up. See, this is what makes this so good, is it's so easy to just get back to our mining area. So I'm going to head back up and empty out a bunch of our stuff into the chests, and then I can come back down and our iron will have smelted. Is there a way to like unchest this minecart? Who knows? Okay, let's make our little sword. Hoping there's no mobs down here. We actually have quite a lot of iron. I'll probably make a pickaxe next, but we don't need one right now. I'm just gonna let that smelt. And I'll probably get all of this string as well, because it's super useful when I'll need to make scaffolding in the future. And I'll get this lapis as well. Okay, I'm not going to collect any more copper for now. I think we're doing pretty good in terms of copper. Oh, a golden apple, that is exciting. And more glowberries. Let's just get everything. And there's a good amount of iron here as well. So I'm going to get that. I feel like the mobs are very close. I think we'll be okay. If not, we're super close to home anyway. So there's no stress. This honestly might take me quite a while to explore, but that is okay. I feel like finding a mine shaft on like our first mining trip was very, very lucky. Oh, it's the big room. I love the big rooms. Not when these guys are in them. But I generally like them. Oh no. Oh dear. Why am I not hitting them? Hello? Hello, why is your hitbox so tiny? Brother, get away. That was rude. Those guys suck. Especially when I seemingly cannot hit. That was embarrassing. Oh, hello! Okay. Wow, that was my first time blocking. Damn. Right. I don't like this. I don't like what's going on here. And I missed a bit of iron. I'm gonna get it, even though it's probably really silly. Because there's enemies. Okay, this is a dangerous spot, kinda. Ah! No. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no. This is not good. Okay. Let's give ourselves a second. That was a lot of non-friendly guys. And I don't know that I necessarily want to interact with them. So let's just do a little break. Let's have a little bit of time. Mine this iron. Looks like I'm going this way. Nope, not you. There we go, okay. That should be okay now, right? And then if I clear this area out, we are not going to get stuck. I can definitely hear a spider, but maybe he's further down. Oh my gosh, okay. So these are our first diamonds. How exciting. Okay. Let me collect these. I hear a spider. That's super exciting. Feels a bit cheaty, doesn't it? But it is what it is, guys. So that's probably a good stopping point actually for this whole mining expedition. I'm gonna get rid of these arrows. I don't really need them right now. And the granite, I literally just want the chest. There we go. So I'm gonna try and find my way back. I can hear a lot of spiders, so I'm a little bit nervous. So that was our first little expedition into a cave. There's definitely more to this that I haven't explored yet, and as you can see on the map there is a trial chamber, so that is super exciting. But for now I'm gonna head back because we have more than enough iron, a bunch of coal, we've got some copper and a bunch of other goodies from the cave as well, so we should be more than set for at least a little while, at least this episode, I should hope. Let's go and smelt all of our goodies. Here is basically everything important that we got from that mining trip. I think I'm gonna smelt up a bunch of the iron and probably some of the raw copper as well. I'm really excited about all these different seed variants that we've got as well, because I think it's super nice to have a bunch of fields around your house, especially when we have such nice hills around the place. So I think our next project is going to be getting started on adding some bits to the base. I think I definitely want to add a barn today, maybe over here. So I'm going to try and even out this ground a little bit so that we can make something sort of on a similar level height wise to our house. But let me just put some things away. So I'm putting anything like kind of random just goes in here, and oh, we've got some dirt. This is good. I think I've definitely got some dirt in the mine shaft area as well. We can probably utilize a bit of that. Okay, so we have about 3 stacks of dirt. I think we're definitely going to need more eventually, but for now this might maybe be enough to at least get an idea of what this area could look like. I think I'm going to go for it being around this level, so a little bit lower down than our house, but not too much that it's like in a crevice, which is how it would kind of be as things stand. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this up, and I will get back to you guys when I am done. Okay, so I have flattened out the area. I don't know if this is going to be quite big enough for a barn. I might actually cut away some of the land here, and that just gives us a little bit more space, and then I can sort of flatten out this area as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sort of cut away from the land around the house, and that just gives us a little bit more room, especially here at the front. I honestly feel like I spend so much time digging spaces out in Minecraft. I really enjoy it. I love a bit of digging. I also sometimes feel a bit like maybe I'm doing too much, but at the end of the day, I like to have a good amount of space without like completely flattening the whole area, because that's one thing I really don't like, is when you're trying to make a nice little area to live in and it ends up just being completely flat. I think I've kind of done that on Crafted accidentally by digging that entire hill down, but honestly we learn from our mistakes, you know. I feel like just from like starting to do videos on YouTube while I'm playing Minecraft, like I've realized how helpful it is for me to be able to talk things through as I'm doing them. Like normally I don't think I would think so much about what I'm doing when I'm playing Minecraft. I probably wouldn't have looked at this area and gone, oh, maybe I'll like flatten this area out a little bit more as well to make more room. I would have just been like, oh, that's fine, and carried on. But because I was showing you guys, it's like, oh, actually maybe it would look better this way. I like that. I like how it's helping me with the process. We have plenty of space now to be able to build our little barn. I'm thinking the barn will probably go at the back here, and then we can have some nice flowers and nature and stuff. I don't want everything to feel like super close together, but I would quite like to, you know, like be able to zoom out like this and see a few different things going on. I don't want it to just be like there's one house and a bunch of space. I want it all to feel like it is part of like one person's land. And then of course eventually we can expand out over the land and there can be more. Like imagine in a few months time when we've done a few more builds and we can just zoom out to here and see a bunch of fun builds. It will be so cute. So I think I'm going to start on the barn over this area here, and then I'm thinking up here we can build a silo maybe in the next episode, probably over this bit, so then we can surround it with crop fields, and I am so excited for how it's going to look. But the first step is going to always be gathering materials, so I'm going to make a few chests to put outside where we're going to put our barn, and then we can sort of stay organized. I think we're going to stick to the same sort of like oak and birch and cherry vibe. Oh, and we have some more seeds in here as well, which is very helpful. I've also just realized with all of our iron we can definitely make a couple more buckets and start up an actual like proper water source up here, because otherwise we're always going to have to travel down this way, and that's kind of a long walk just for some water. And oh, maybe our sugarcane will have grown as well. We've been hanging about the area a little bit. Yes, okay, perfect. Let's harvest our sugarcane. I'm gonna replant a little bit over here. I've just turned the map back on. I've realized it wasn't on, and I can't believe it's already day 33. The days are going so quickly in this world. I am honestly so surprised. I'm excited that we're actually gonna have a few builds already by like day 50. Normally I'm still working on my house by day 50, so this is very good for me. I'm gonna plop these little chests over here and a little crafting table and our furnace, so that if we need to we can make whatever we want, and these will just be our supplies. I think whilst we're here, this may actually be a really good time to make our iron armor. I think we've got enough to make our chest plate, our leggings and our boots. And look at us now, we're so cute. It's definitely not as striking as the copper armor, which is a shame. I definitely loved that orange against my jumper, but you know, the grey, the silver, whatever it is, has a sort of elegance to it. So that is our first set of iron armor. I'm gonna go and put our copper chest plate and actually, well, our copper armor and our first ever copper pickaxe, I'm gonna go put them in our mining entrance area, and then once we have a bit of leather we can make some frames and put all of the items in the frames as little memories. I think it'll be cute, and especially in the mining entrance it would be nice to have them scattered around. So I'm just hoping that I remember what those are there for. But yes, let's go and maybe make an iron axe, and then we can get to gathering some woods and get ready to build our barn. So I thought this could be a really good time to utilize all of that copper that we've got. I have a bunch in here, so we can put that in the furnaces to smelt away, and then we'll be able to cut a little bit more. And I've got a few of the stones as well from just our like digging. I'm not sure how we're going to use it yet. Maybe I'm going to make it into smooth stone. It might look quite nice, but for now I'm just going to put everything in the chest, and then we can sort it out later once we can see what we have. And I'm going to go collect a bunch of cherry wood and oak wood and maybe a little bit of birch as well. So I've actually kind of cleared out a lot of this cherry grove. I'm quite glad I did, because otherwise it gets super dark in here and there's often a bunch of mobs. So I'm quite glad that I've sort of thinned it out a little bit. Not so much that it's completely gone, but enough that it is safe now to walk through, or at least mostly safe. And I'm super excited to build something here eventually. Let me know if you guys have any ideas in terms of builds for this area. It's just right by our house here, so it really could be anything. For now, I think we're doing quite good. We've got 2 stacks of cherry logs, and then nearly a stack and a half of each of the other woods, but I actually think I'm gonna make this build mostly out of cherry, so I think we should basically be all set in terms of wood. I am gonna just try and see if we can get any more copper. It always ends up being like you have so much less copper than you think when you actually turn it into the blocks. So I'm gonna go down and see how much we'll make out of the stuff that we've smelted, and we will see how that's going. Okay, so we have nearly another stack. You guys may be a little bit confused as well, because like pink and orange isn't exactly the best color scheme, but I'm actually gonna try and wait for these to oxidize, and then we can have it be a nice blue roof on our barn. I think it's super nice and like whimsical vibes, which is always what I'm going for. So I'm also gonna potentially smelt up a little bit of stone to get some smooth stone. I really should stop jumping down there. I made a staircase for a reason, but for now I think I'm going to start laying out the foundations of this build. I want it to have a similar vibe to this one, but with like a rounded roof, and obviously it's going to be a barn. So okay, so I'm going to map out the size of it. I want it to be like quite wide but not too long, if that makes sense. So I think I will start it around here and go along this way. Okay, I just slept. It is officially day 40, guys, which is insane. But let's have a little look at the barn. I am really loving how it's coming along. Ignore the rude zombie. But yeah, I really like this. It took a lot of like trial and error to get it how I want it to be. And you probably saw that in the time lapse. Let me just put some torches up here. But yes, I really like the shape and the roof, and I feel like it's the perfect size. We can definitely have some sheep and some cows in here. We probably won't keep pigs because I don't really have a need for them. I am gonna now try and decorate the outside and the inside a little bit and just make it a little bit more cozy looking, because right now this is very much like bare bones. And obviously we want it to have its own little bit of flair. Let's get to decorating. It is the finished, well, mostly finished vibe for the barn. I'm really happy with how this came out. Obviously, the copper hasn't even begun to oxidize yet. We're gonna have to spend a little bit more time in game waiting for that to happen, but that is fine. And we have our pens in here so we can have our cows and our pigs, not pigs, our cows and our sheep. And then we have an upstairs. So this will be really useful because I'm really growing out of the 4 chests that I have in my house. So this is going to be super helpful to move some of our stuff from here into there, because this is all very like basic stuff. So I feel quite comfortable just moving that and having that in the barn. Let's actually make some chests now and I can work on that later. And obviously a lot of the top of the barn is also just going to be like decorative for vibes, which we love. I do need to obviously go and get some of the animals for our barn. So that's going to be my next task, and I think I will include that. So I think we're actually going to need to get a little bit of wheat, because I think I turned all my wheat into bread, which isn't ideal. Yes, so what I'm going to need to do is actually make some fields for our crops to be in. I think I'm going to do it mostly out of some stripped woods and a bit of like slabs and stuff, and then it will look pretty cute hopefully. And I just want lots of different fields all around the place, but I'm going to start it over here I think, and we can have our first fields just around the barn, which will be lovely. So I'm just going to get all of the materials to make some nice little wheat fields, and I will be right back. So I think this is a good area for a little field. I'm going to start our little border bit, maybe not there, going from here, and then I'm going to strip this as well so it's not quite so dark. I kind of just do random shapes for this sort of thing, and we'll have like pathways in between and stuff. It'll look really cute. Obviously it's hard to sort of get the idea just from this, but you guys will see, you'll see the vibes. Okay, this should hopefully be like a big enough field of wheat to begin with. I think it should be good, and then we can have windmills up on these hills eventually, which will look super cute. I'm just gonna strip the rest of this wood, and then we're gonna decorate a lot of the top with just some stone. It's nothing fancy, but that's kind of what I like about this series. I don't feel like anything super crazy is going on. I'm just building as I would generally, like when I play Minecraft, if I was playing a single player world on my own. And I like that. It's very comfortable. Yes, okay. And then I'm gonna just add a few little trapdoors just around the place. Probably on the outside will look nicer, so it just adds a little bit of something different so that it's not completely flat, which I enjoy. I think we've got just enough spruce just to make a trapdoor that will go over where the water's gonna go. I'm thinking in the middle here, and I'm just gonna put some little oak stairs, maybe like that, and then we'll put some slabs on the rest. Okay, this is feeling pretty good for like our first little wheat field. I don't like how that looks though. I think I'm not even gonna put slabs here. I will just make it, or maybe I won't make it one lower because that doesn't look very good either. But maybe under this we can just put a little bit of water. Okay, wonderful. So I really do not like these being here, I have to say. So let's change that out. Okay, so here's our little field. I know it's not a whole lot, but it should be more than enough for now. I am going to just put a little bit more water in some of these spots. But yeah, I'm going to plant all of our wheat and get that growing, and then we can go and get some cows and sheep. I think maybe with these fields, it might be a cute idea to build like one every episode or something, just so that I don't have to do a whole episode of building fields, which isn't that interesting, but we do still get the effect of having these around the place because they are a really nice decorative thing to have. It's looking super cute. We're just waiting for the wheat to grow so that we can go and get the animals that we need. So whilst I'm waiting for that, I'm actually just going to connect up the pathways so that our whole little base is connected. I want to connect the barn and our new wheat field. I really do enjoy like just making these simple paths. I know it's really nothing crazy, but I don't know, I just find it fun. Okay, I feel like that took absolutely ages, but we finally have some wheat, so I'm just gonna try and attract some little guys over. There's a bunch of cows around. I've seen one sheep. So we'll see if we can find a few more, but I want to at least get this little dude and some of his pals. I think the leather is most important, although wool is nice to have. Leather is extremely useful. We will put this guy in here. Thank you for your cooperation, good sir. I'll be back with a friend. Please do come in. We are going to do great things. Have fun in there. Get out. Get out. Okay, fantastic. Oh my god, and we didn't even have to do any murder. That's fun. That's absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna feed these guys and get this cow out, brother. Get out of here, brother. Get out of my barn. Splendid. And I'm hoping they can't get out. I don't think they'll be able to, because I don't think they can jump. They might be able to jump like that, which would be really irritating. But yeah, this is our barn. This is it. None of the copper is oxidizing very quickly. I think it's going to take a long time, but it'll be fun to see it progress. As you can see, absolutely none of it has oxidized, and I have been hanging around here quite a lot, so I think we're just going to have to spend a little bit more time here, make some more crop fields, decorate a little bit more, and eventually we will get that lovely blue roof. So that is going to be it for today's video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed. I feel like I have been working on this one for so long. I'm sorry if it seemed disjointed at parts or anything like that. But we finally have our little barn, and I've started moving some of my items from my chests in my house into the storage upstairs, which is super exciting. I'm going to work on that between videos, so hopefully I'll have everything sorted by next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!